Welcome back to 925. Welcome to our last match of the day here for round 2 of our Swiss system. I'm the Eternal J. I'm joined by Dwight here. We're going to be taking a look at Avez versus Big Academy to decide who's going to be the last team forward into our 2-0 positions, and who's going to be playing in the middle group at 1-1 to try and fend off the elimination phase for round 4. And an interesting one, Dwight, because we've got Avez versus Big Academy. Two teams that we're now familiar with. I certainly wouldn't agree to say the same thing for Big Academy from yesterday, but they did manage to sharpen and do some magical stuff. So let's break down these lineups and start talking about them here, Dwayne. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, look, certainly for Avez, right? I mean, we've had some experience over the last couple of months of casting them. You've got two big players in particular. You certainly look at Kai and you think, man, what a powerhouse he is for this side. And then you probably look at someone like Bialy because, you know, the experience he brings, you know, the Golden Five on VP, doing so much in his career. So coming into a Polish lineup like Avez certainly does bring a lot of experience and a lot of talent. Whereas for the Big Academy side, we've only really got to see glimpses of them. And certainly, at least in the yesterday game, I think we saw some inconsistencies across the team. Certainly, I felt as if Process was very impressive on the T side. He was finding a lot of entries. He was finding a lot of 2K, 3K rounds, where for someone like Panix, who I've heard his name being thrown around quite a lot, was actually very disappointing with that AWP. Certainly felt like he wasn't really in the groove, didn't really feel comfortable. So hopefully as time goes on in 9-5, we can start to see him play at his normal potential.
I don't want to be too harsh on the Big Academy side. They are an academy team at the end of the day, so there's only so much you can expect to get out of them. But
for sure.
Yesterday we got to see them in action over against the Na'Vi Junior side, and by the end of it they came out with a win. A bit of a weird win as well, because they got eviscerated on the first map, then they eviscerated the opposition on the second map before having a close third and just managing to tip it over the edge. So you know, the reason why they're here was based off of tribulation in the first place, and I kind of wanted to know, you know, like how much is that sort of tribulation going to affect the mentality and the consistency of the players on this German side?
They'll be hyped. Like, you've got to think for these guys, they're young, they're up and coming. It's a great position to be in. You're 1-0 up in the Swiss stage. Again, it's going to be really difficult, especially when you face off against some strong teams. And for Big Academy, I certainly think that I'd like to see that they're confident going into this series, but you've got to think realistically. They can't be confident going into this. Yeah, against Na'Vi Junior, that was an upset in its own. But to face off against a team like Avez, they are going to have to really pull their weight because it is going to be a tough series for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You talk about difference in rankings a lot, Dwayne. I mean, the rankings for these two teams are very defined. 110 versus 53 in the world. So we'll find out how much that will come to play. We also get a chance to take a look at our vetoes. We've got Train and Overpass getting picked. Okay. Train is the map pick of Avez, and understandably Overpass is the map pick of Big and Nuke is the third map and the final map in our series. Now, the reason why I had my voice sort of like go a little bit higher for Overpass was because that was the map yesterday in which they got 16-3 above Na'Vi Junior on that Big Academy team. So having that in this map pool already is going to scream of a good sign.
Yeah, no, absolutely. They played really well on Overpass. It certainly seems like the T sides for Big Academy is really where they come into their own, especially looking at some of their games that they've played in the group stage, now in the Swiss stage. It certainly seems like CT side is weaker than their T side. So a map like Overpass does open up a lot of opportunities for the T side. In saying that, they've got a very unique style of play. A lot of teams in Europe like to play it pretty slow, pretty methodical, using that utility, getting that map control. Big Academy don't do that. They are rushing, they're aggressive, they do a lot of executions, it's very light and very little defaults. So I'm not sure how that kind of style of play is going to work against a team like Avez, but I'm going to be really excited to see it come out.
Well, Train is the map that's picked by Avez as well. I wanted to highlight this one because it is actually in a bit of a weird spot for them. Like, it's only about a half win rate, but it's also not a fantastic map for the Big Academy side. They don't play it that often at all. For me, though, I feel like the veto has gone particularly well for Avez because they have got a map that they've played 16 times, and Overpass is their highest win rate map with 17 maps so far in the last 3 months. So for them, they've got like a lot of experience as well, and I'm imagining that, you know, just by comparison's sake, they probably have a lot more experience than what Big Academy have been able to pull off. And in that respect, you must imagine that they're still going to be the favorites coming into the first 2 maps here, Twig.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, there's no doubt. I think it's going to be really tough for Big Academy to even be able to pick up a map here. It's certainly, again, it's not going to be the same as that Simon game that we casted a little bit earlier on, but it's going to be very similar in the Savers who, you know, they go to lands or, you know, they've got Bialy, at least, has played at the top end of Tier 1 Counter-Strike for most of his career. There is so much experience on this lineup, where for Big Academy, for all of the players on this lineup, this is their first professional team. They'd never been on HLTV before joining this side. So, look, they're up-and-coming players. They're new, they're fresh, they're young. There can be a way for them going into the future and maybe going a couple of years down the line. But when you look at the present and when you look at today, you think, man, they're going to have a really tough time on these first 2 maps.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially Train for me is going to be like the easy sort of go-to map for the likes of Avez, just because they've, you know, again, as I mentioned, they played it so many times in the last few months. There's only 2 maps on record for Big Academy, which one, to be fair, was actually a 16-11 win against Hellraisers, which is a pretty decent team.
Yeah.
I don't remember Hellraisers being particularly proficient on this map, though, so, you know, maybe I have to take a look at the specifics to find out whether or not that's actually a good achievement or just a case of, you know, exploiting weaknesses. For me, I definitely feel like this map was a pick to exploit the weaknesses here for Avez, because, you know, they know that they can replicate some decent results on this map. Not many amazing results. You know, they have lost to the likes of Simon and Gambit Youngsters and Illuminar in the past. But, you know, they're taking wins above Crazy, and they've gone close against AGO, for example. And most recently, they beat Level Up, who are the team who also beat out Navi Jr. earlier today. Yeah. So they've got some good victories in on over the course of their time playing Train. It is a map that I feel like, listen, it could fall off if there was a good team against them in this one. But the fact that it's Big Academy tends to indicate to me that this should be an easy first map for them.
It really should be, and if Avez play their own game, like if they go into it with maybe a no-respect kind of style, you know, they go in their face, they make it really awkward to find a lot of duels, they put a lot of pressure onto Big Academy, we could start to see the youngsters crumble, and that's certainly the way that Simon was playing in the game that we covered on the B stream. Was they were just so aggressive, they were so in your face, and you get to a point where you just don't really know what to do. So if Avez can play their own game, I think this should be a pretty simple series for them.
Well, knife round is going live between these two sides to decide the choice of side. I'm imagining CT is going to be much more, required, I feel like, for a team to win out for the early, especially for Big Academy, given their current situation. So, a nice knife win would put them on good stead. Both teams have a pretty decent CT basis. I mean, most teams do. It's one of the most CT-heavy maps in the pool. So, a good start on that CT half is going to be pretty beneficial for both sides. It does look like Big Academy might actually walk away with that win. Not a single player going down. That's all right. That's pretty decent. But yeah, they will get that CT choice, so I imagine they'll go over there, and we should be seeing at least a good first half here from Big Academy.
Yeah, look, I certainly think that if there's any amount of rounds to sort of tally up, it's got to be on this CT side. In saying that, though, with Big Academy's very sort of ferocious aggression on the T side, we could actually see them be able to put up a pretty decent performance. Again, Train is one of those maps where it is very difficult to get aggressive and to get in your face of your opponents on the T side. So we'll just have to wait and see. But 2 players to keep an eye out for is the AWPers for both sides, Marcos and Panic. And you've got to think, Jay, especially on a map like Train, we should see a lot of AWP fights going into the early gun rounds.
Yeah, and Panic is definitely going to have to step up and not try and crumble under the pressure. If he does, we're going to be in a bit of a bad spot here for his side. Big Academy will have their chance at glory here in the pistol round. They've got Anowin here with the defuse and smoke out. Bialy and Kai are going to take very early face of the utility plays, and Avez fast out into the A bomb site here. Got Anowin with that first frag. Kai will be able to respond all the same. Pro's just taking damage at the edge of the smoke here on connector, burning to the model. They heard that tag, and they'll take the frag for it. 2-for-1 trade favored to Avez. Now, the bomb will be received. Anowin's going to get taken out by Bialy. Panic comes in from Pop Dog, drops Marcos back to a single man advantage, and both players here towards Pop Dog to start facing forward, take a face. Kai takes out Panics for 1 frag. It's all after Crimbo in a 1-on-3 situation. Flank coming in from Olaf as well, who revealed his position. Does get that 1 headshot, but so much more to do here. The time's ticking. He hasn't got a kit, and Kai will take his 4K.
Kai is so strong. He is such a strong player for this Avez side, putting up 4 insane kills on that pistol round. And for Avez, things look pretty simple there. I would say the only mistake that they made is they didn't have anyone sort of in the post plant to look towards that Pop Dog position, and we almost saw that bomb getting denied from Panics going down through Pop Dog. So it could have got a little bit more awkward there from the Avez side, but the smoke out towards Con and back Ivy, they just shift their way into the A bomb side, but they now are going to be up against the 4 spy.
A scout out from Panic's going to try to see if he can do something here with the opening headshot. He actually finds it on Kyler as well, so would have thought that the upgrades and the rifles automatics here for Avez would be able to rip them apart, but Good accurate shooting from Big Academy will get themselves off on the right foot in this one. They're going to reposition themselves to go passive across their defensive line. That's going to work well because Avez are not really, overly aggressing here.
Panic is doing some good shots so far with that scout, but they do have Bialy on the T side that has pushed up into that Olaf position. He's just waiting to see if he can find an overextension or any kind of a footsteps, a bit of a noise cue. Some slow stuff coming out from Avez. So they look like they are going to try and hit this outer bomb site. And it's got to come down to Bialy to find some sort of entry. He's going to be the first man of contact on this execution.
"40 seconds to the hit. Big Academy have very little information to work off of. Avez just going to go straight in with the execution when they're ready. Smoke from Nora will try pull them over to the B bomb side. That will force them up here. Mac-10's out. Deagle's in. Awkward sprays from Process. Nora will get taken out. 5-on-3 situation. Further smokes out as Hades are going to get forced back. Scout still in doing damage. Kai to 30 HP. And Avez are just now making their way up to the bomb side. Marcos with a very risky plant position. Now out in the open. CT's to swing and potentially take him down. No, Kai denies. Gets himself 2 frags. Back to even standing here. And the big damage will now start to be returned.
3-on-3 retake mode coming on for the Big Academy side, but it seems like even with this opening man advantage, they're starting to get ripped apart. The Deagle's coming out, and even still the kills to come through for the T side. Good shot coming out from the scout, but with low time left, this round's pretty much all but over. This is going to be a second on the board for Avez. And I'll tell you what, Jay, just the way that they slowed it down after finding those opening, a couple of picks from the CT side, made Big Academy almost swing out to feel as if they had to try and keep fighting.
Yeah, 1 player left alive by the end of the round. Marcos keeping his only AK in check. Avez in general going to take a lot of damage. And yeah, they did have 3 Mac-10s in that round, but to lose the 4th man is the most important thing for that T side. So Big doing well enough here on the CT start. They're on their force by Backman Eco. AKs across the entire T side board though, so those upgrades will just come in full, and they should be able to overwhelm and take them down as appropriate. Or at least so we hope. Let's find out whether that's reality in this moment. We've got the default setup. Of course, the scouts didn't play for Panics. Everybody else on some upgrade pistols here and there. Panic's facing, doing damage to the first man, nailed onto position, and Bialy could have fallen, but he gets out of dodge before he ends up going down. It's kind of opening things up with the aggression towards Ivy. Dealt with, but the aggression to T-Con going better for the CT camp.
They pick up an AK, so well, all in all, pretty good round so far coming out from Avez, but unfortunately, it's a gamble stack from the CTs to that A bomb site, meaning that they could just
it has been effective over the last couple of rounds. A 4 versus 3 finally turned back around by Kyler, who swings up, takes the frag. Another bomb's got to get picked up from T-Con, make its way into the B bomb site. I think they know that it was dropped somehow. As it gets recovered by Bialy, it shouldn't get pushed in. They're going to take their time with this, not give any information away to the CT camp, and eventually get that plant instead of the retake. Big Academy, however, going to slowly start rotating towards the B bomb site.
Oh, I like this. It made things really awkward because they opened up B, but they didn't have the bomb. And they looked like they were going to go back to AJ, but hang on a minute. They might be running into the stack at B.
Got 1 player here, flashing against the AK, gets forced out with a little bit of damage done. A 3-on-3 situation. Now out for Panics, looking on position. The bomb plant will be secured. Good shot by Panics again, does a tag on towards Nora, and that's a 2-on-2 that's so winnable by Hades and Crimbo. Yes, they've got no Kevlar, but the T's have no HP. Kyler left alone now, 10 points of health to his name, back behind the Marshmallow position. Just waiting for a headshot. A Molotov on the site. Try and stall for it here, and he will get forced out of position, get taken down. But I think he may have stalled for just enough time here. Actually, this will be a close to the fuse. Have they got it?
Gonna be close. Gonna be real close.
Oh, not quite.
They
not
don't.
quite. They were about half a second away.
What a round, though. I mean, you can make the point, oh, you know, maybe if they had a kit, blah, blah, blah. But that's a round where they really didn't have a lot of upgrades. They took everyone down on that T side, really limited the economy. That's a fantastic round from Big Academy. They can't be disappointed with that at all.
No, absolutely not. Going into the rebuy here, that's a lot of damage sustained by Avez over the last few rounds. You can see what that's going to do to the economy line. 3 in a row, and we've got hundreds of dollars, 150 on the 3 high rollers of the T side. That's it. Orbs out, of course, for the CT side. Avez can't contest with the big green gun. It's Hades hearing footsteps, evading bullets just about. Flash is coming up, but he can return onto the HP numbers. Only a minimal amount done towards Noro and Kai. 19, 95 respectively here, and Avez just taking face, putting bullets down range. Kai will spray through. They're going to read those positions, do further damage, and Hades is placed perfectly to avoid all of these bullets.
Yeah, both teams are just spamming from one another around Pop Dog, but not really any damage has been done to either side. And Avez are really slowing it down on the T side, not really gaining too much map control at the moment. They do have Kyler that has cleared out Brown Halls. But this looks to be the split into the A bomb site. 1 player towards the top of Pop Dog, 3 out towards T-Con, potentially trying to get a bit of Ivy presence coming through. And that AWP, it's over at the B bomb site. Really, they need that AWP to strike at A.
Nice utility usage from the CT side so far. Another one landing perfectly on to Kyler. 48 HP for him. And Big Academy trying to readjust at this moment. M4 for Anoin. Count with a smoke down, a miss smoke from the T side. That's going to cause a lot of problems. But Bialy takes that kill on the man. Avez still bursting in. 18 seconds to the clock process. Tagged up low. Marcos goes down. Panics gets Kai for 1 good frag. They're going to stall for time, but 10 seconds remain now. And so long as they can find the AWP, they should be able to secure a bomb plant. Indeed, they will. Crimbo coming in from Pop Dog may get Kyler. He's on 43, but that may be as far as he goes.
Big Academy, they actually worked around that miss-smoke towards back green, but unfortunately they just couldn't really find the entries. They do a hell of a lot of damage again, but only a single kill comes through. And obviously we haven't seen Big Academy on the T side just yet, so we can only kind of speculate that they're going to play a very similar style of what we saw them yesterday, a very fast, very in-your-face, very aggressive. For Avez, I was kind of like biting my fingernails there of how low that time was getting. They really slowed it down, executed to the site with about 20 seconds on the clock. And they do a really great job of making it awkward for the CTs. They feel like they have to fight considering how low the time is. And the entries come out perfectly for the Ts.
Good confident round to start building the economy state of the T side as well.
They need that.
Absolutely they do. So at least it works, and that's the main thing to take away there for Avez. And yeah, it can be worrying to see the time run so low. I certainly have to agree that I was a little bit on edge once the hit came through in the last 20 seconds or so. And you know, this was off basic map control towards Ivy and T-Con. No, that was about it. Nades again going to be allowed to do damage here for the big side, and Bialy and Marcos tagged up early. Bialy in particular down to a little bit under half HP. Panics, takes a quick flip. Bialy gets 2 to respond though. The close quarters combat goes against the CT camp, but long range is still favoring to a 3-on-3. Big kills coming in from Panics.
I'll tell you what, Panics is really showing up at the moment, whether it's the scout, whether it's the AWP. He's finding connections, and it's good to see. Unfortunately for Big Academy, the read at the moment is Gamble stacking that A bomb site. Now, they are going to rotate a single player back to B, and that's where Avez are going to be. Crimbo, the big man of the action, doesn't have a smoke or an incendiary. It's only a HE and a flash to work with.
Sprays through. Spray to return. Crimbo's going to be known, and Kyler will take him down. Molotov against Panics, and he goes forward into Kyler. Marcos close range for the AWP in the Brown Halls. Gets his frag, gets a 5-0. Waste of smoke, but that's fine because he gets one for free. And max loss bonus now for the big side. They need to get some rounds to return though.
Yeah, they certainly do. And you've got to be completely honest here and say, I'm actually been really impressed with Big Academy. They've made these rounds very expensive. They've been able to find opening picks. Panics in particular has been able to hit some really great AWP shots, but it's the conversion that hasn't been able to come forward just yet. Avez, I wouldn't say they're having an easy time considering the score line's 5-0.
I think anyone looking at the scoreboard right now and isolating that as their main sort of point of view as to how this match is going is very doing themselves a disservice, because There's a lot more behind it, and yes, Avez are the ones getting the important numbers, but Big are opening up some opportunities. I mean, even here with the basic half-bought pistols, they got a kill, they got an AK. Crimbo, I think he saw Kyler, and he's not going to take that fight once again. He knows that he's probably going to lose it. Try to match a more passive position, but for now, Big Academy have gained a 4-on-4.
And that AK pick up again. They've been able to do it so many times with these eco rounds, take a weapon out of the T-side's playbook and just hold on to it. Crimbo still quite aggressive this time around at the heaven position. Avez really silent, so not giving a lot of information away on their default. 45 seconds. You've got to think for the CTs they need to make a move, and they have indeed.
Crimbo able to respond to that though. Kai takes one back on Panics though. That's a 3-on-3. The A site relatively open. They've got players in connector, one coming in from the backlines over at Pop Dog, and time once again ticking relatively low here for the Aves hit. Need to get themselves up to site now and get a bomb plant. The AWP is watching from there. Now looking on towards the Pop Dog entrance. It's all down to timing. He sees his man, but Hades with the AK gets his shot off, and the plant could be secured. Open to Pop Dog. Kai and Bialy now backing their way away into Red, Hell, and Ivy positions. Bialy gonna make it all the way around towards E-Box. Crimbo might not be expecting this. A face up from Kai. It goes down or left to the veteran now. 1-on-3. Crimbo's watching it. He swings and he gets his pick. A big round from Big Academy. Was not expecting that to go their way, and the damage compounding may really hurt the buy.
I tell you what, that's an excellent round. They're able to recover an AWP, 2 AKs up on a round again where there's not too many upgrades. So it certainly seems for Avez, they're finding success in the rifle rounds, but struggling against some of these half-buy upgrades. And something for the Polish side to maybe keep in mind, maybe see if they can change the pace a little bit when they know they're up against the Deagles and the 5.7s and what have you. Maybe see if it's a little bit more aggressive and a bit more of an execution style rather than a default. A Big Academy finally putting a round up on the board, and they'll be really pleased with that.
And there are many reasons to be pleased at this stage. Look at the fast plays out from Avez. Straight out of Pop Dog and T-Con. Damage has been announced, but that's about to change. With Kai getting right up close and personal against Hades. Process falls to Nora. Awkward sprays back from Kai. Kyler can finish off the job he started, though. And a 4-on-2 situation. Panics and Crimbo, both players extremely caught out here with a double-up setup. One player can get caught off. Second frag from Panics. Adjusts against Kyler. Evades the flash. Quick scopes back to a 2-on-2 and a slow face from the AWP, but Crimbo misses his shot and gives up his life. Markov next to face out, and Panic sees him. 3 picks for this man. If he gets a quadra, this would clutch it, but the bomb is on the back of Bialy, and he has an option to go to B.
He's just playing mind games at the moment. You're right. He certainly does have the option of going over to that B bomb side. And Panics, does he read the play? He's been sharp with the AWP so far, but the timing just not there. 12 kills and just 6 deaths for the main AWP. And you've got to think that miss from Crimbo probably loses them the round right there.
Big plays from Panics. I mean, we talked about him not being able to be as confident in previous matches, but right now, I'd say he's probably playing the most confident we've ever seen this player play. Yeah. And I mean, certainly that's like, you know, it's not like that's not saying much. Like, genuinely, he is probably the top fragger for Big Academy at this stage. Gonna be a big round for them to find, of course. 6-1 on the board. The AWPs are back in with a reinvestment from Big Academy. Both economies are in tatters, so the winner of this could turn a crucial couple of rounds to their favor, especially in the case of Big, who would be within half of the lead. Norrod starts things off. Hades and Process try and right back for a 2-for-1. Rifles can get recovered, and Avez stop the pushing at T-Con.
Now, this is really awkward now for the Avez side, but Process has been seen out towards E-Box. They need the AWP to chime into the action. An opportunity out towards Olaf, and Marcos goes down. Avez now, with what was finding the opening man advantage, has now shifted the other way. A 2-on-4 for the Poles, a really awkward position to be in now.
Time's a ticking. And Avez really lost control of this round. That Molotov's going to give up information to the CT camp. Kai needs to get a kill off this. He's seen that gun barrel of Hades. If he had a HG or another molly, he could force him back out, but he just can't seem to do so. Hades is not making a move. He's going to try to sneak forward. Is he spotted towards green? I don't think he was. Popping out here is going to be dangerous. Hades going to get checked, taken back. But I say another good 1v1 against Process, and indeed he does, but against the Orpa Panics, he's not ready for him. 2 kills to his name, 10 seconds to get a bomb back down on the B bomb side. This will be a last-second plant. Oh, this is going to be real close. Oh,
I don't know if he got it down in time.
Oh, skin of his teeth stuff for the veteran, and he gets a kill back for it. Up against Panics for his 3K still on. Bialy, accurate as ever. Just, and I mean just, secures the round for Avez.
Oh my goodness. Bialy, this is what, 2 rounds that he's clutched now, a 1 versus 1, now 1 versus 2. They brought that back on a 2-on-4. Avez, Kai and Bialy working together. And just the read for Bialy. Let's go B, plant the bomb, the wide swing coming out into the M4 player, and just this crouch peek into connector. Oh, that's lovely. That is just absolute brained on. And Big Academy, they're devastated after that. I cannot believe they lost that round.
Just getting ripped apart at this stage. Norot takes out Process, taps up on the PT50 Hades, gets only 1 kill as Avez just ripped the eco apart from the CT camp. And again, that was a buy-up round for both teams. Heavy investment, economy completely destroyed. So the fact that they got away with that is obviously a massive, massive pickup here for Avez. Eagles out, going to get another good pick, but 3 rifles stay in play. Therefore, it's a profit for Avez. And Big Academy will need to re-buy back into the rifles here.
And you've got to think, maybe they're second-guessing themselves about the second AWP pickup, because we saw Crimbo, in particular, having a few struggles with that AWP when it came out. So they're quite happy just to run the single AWP. And Panics in particular, it almost seems that even with him fighting so much, they're getting so close but so far. We're seeing clutching ability coming out from Avez, and unfortunately, a Big Academy have just not been able to close out rounds. Going into round number 10, you've got to think for them, especially on the CT side where we said that they could get the majority of rounds, they need to put up 5 at minimum.
Flashes over, the CT's moving in. Navis. Debt in their minds at the moment. Kai takes a face against Alwyn. Hades trades it back, 4-on-4 situation. And at least Big are holding these early advantages in certain cases. Look at the aggression from Crimbo. He could find Marcos and Kylie. He could drop that bomb at the very least. It all comes down to timing. He doesn't continue his face up. He falls back passive and waits for the hit to come to him. Will be a fake out from these 2 smokes and a Molotov. All the T-side players are not out here.
Yeah, this is going to be a B fake, and let's see if the rotations get forced out. For the A players, they're actually not really moving at all. They're still holding their ground because they know it could be a fake. Hang on, this is a fake to A. They're going to go back to B. Oh, I like this. I really like this. They've baited out the rotation. Crimbo's alone.
They haven't spotted him just yet. Hades will get Bialy, the only player out there. They're slow walking out of this position. And he's going to catch the bomb runner as well. Spray goes well. Kyler finds a trade. 3-on-2, making it 1. And that lurking position, they couldn't find the man. Bomb picked up, planted on the train. It's Nora in a 1 versus 3. Faced up 2 close. Sprays a manic. Kills coming in. That's a second for Big Academy.
Oh my goodness. Well, for Avez, they read the play really well. They faked out towards B that it was going to be an A play. Then they used the utility A to go back to B, but they don't check the close spool angle. If they would have found the opening kill, that would have allowed them to get so much map control to that B bomb side, but a cheeky little angle being held. And, well, Crimbo, what a massive performance in that last round. That's going to grant Big Academy their second. And for Avez, they're like, okay, you know, let's just take a tactical. They've reset the money line for us, at least for a few players. We need to get control back in the game. Even though we've got a really strong lead, we don't want to just let it slip away.
See those stat lines real quick. Look at Kai by comparison to his teammates. Beautiful stuff being played out right now. And Panics as well. 15 frags. Again, top fragging for Big at the moment. And again, he's having such a great time out at the moment. He's having a lights out performance here in this matchup. Backed up by his teammates. And it's just the case that they're getting out-positioned by Avez more than anything else. I mean, you saw how those kill counts are much more spread out on the Avez side. The Big still holding very close sort of sets of rounds here on the force buy. They could potentially put some more back on the board, get to 5 at least on the CT side.
A big nade coming out towards Ivy, doing a hell of a lot of damage. And Panic's backing off, having a little bit more of a safer angle. Oh, Process. How did he even get up through here? This must have been aggression out through the B bomb side or out through Pop Dog, but he gets caught off. He doesn't get traded.
He'll know now that they are on pistols, though. Don't find the pick against them here. The Molotovs coming out from Kai. Going to try to force them out for sandwich. Nobody is there, though, and they're going to fall back anyway. The CTs get out of dodge here. The M4 porting from Pop Dog. And back into towards the main bomb site defensive here. Avez are going to go with what seems to be a B wrap around, and Process is still playing for the information game. Molotovs over to that long corridor. No real frags going the way of the T or CT side, just damage being done here. 30 seconds left, they have to go now. And the Orpa Panics still waiting for its way in. Down to the last moment again for the T camp. Good kill on the first player, bomb dropped. Good frag from Panic for the second, not quite the third, but Anowin's there to support, as is Hades from Pop Dog. Kai's left alone. This is an easy third for Big Academy.
Yeah, Kai's got to get out of there. There's just no way that he can do any more. I tell you what, that's really nice from Big Academy. And reading the game incredibly well, realizing the fact that we really haven't seen a lot of aggression coming out from Avez. Let's just see if we can counter some aggression and get some map control taken away from them. We see Process getting so far aggressive, and what that allows for Big Academy is to run a 4-man stack at that A bomb side and even have a 5th man rotating over extremely quickly from Connector. A great shutdown. It forced Avez to make an A play because they tried to go back in through showers to potentially get some Brown Horse control, but even with Process just jump spotting, it means they have to commit to A.
Another awkward rebuy coming in from Avez here. Almost having to eke off the back of the force buy, but Kai opting with an AK instead with some head Kevlar. I really wreck the economy of the T's going forward. A frag against him. Process takes him down. Flashes over. Secondary frag. Hades gets Kyler as well. And this is just a rip apart round. 4 to the board of Big. And I don't think they got enough money to continue the forces up here from the T side camp.
Yeah, look, money line looks pretty awkward actually for the T's. A bomb plant would have really helped them going forward. Let's have a look at the money. Oh, 4,000. No, they can probably scrape together a bar. I mean, Kai in particular, maybe on a Mac 10. Yeah, it's just whether the fact, do they want to save this, give up another round, maybe try and get the AWP out into the next, get a strong buy. And yeah, it looks like that's going to be the call. They could have forced there, could have been a little bit awkward, but instead, they're wanting to play the long game. They don't mind giving up a 5th round.
And that economy just getting wrecked here for him. See, with the money being where it was, and with the save, of course, from that AWP. Fast plays out from the T side. They're taking a look at the Tech 9 around this corner. Anowin takes Bialy down. Deagle's back out from Kyler. Can find a trade, but 46 HP for the man. And the AK standing by here for Process. Rounds it up. Panics gets one. Process gets another. Kai can turn his AK on for a decent frag. The AWP up in the brown holes, though, dropping that bomb, and it's all left to Kai once again with this AK. A 1-on-3, and I wouldn't recommend saving this time. Therefore, it should be a 5th on the board for the CT side.
Kai just looking to see if he can do any damage, anything at this point. He's so low. And Crimbo holding down the line towards E-Box. A 5th round now going the way of the Germans. And for Avez, well, they can invest the AWP if they like. Straight away it goes on the back of Marcos. And looking relatively solid throughout this T side. It seems like they've had a little bit of a hurdle. I mean, yes, you can take into account that the economy has been put in shatters of this streak of rounds from Big Academy. But it's good to see the contest is on. And 2 AKs up on that CT side, up against a very strong buy from the T's. Avez may even try and go for something quick out towards B.
Looked like the initial play, but the utility put out by the CT camp has stopped him. Not going to allow face. Bialy taking a bit of damage, and the again, Flash is keeping him blind. You mentioned earlier in the last round the AWP to come out for Marcos with the AK surrounding it. They're hunting for an opening kill specifically. They're going to look to put that AWP into supportive in the post plant. Try and make their way onto the B bomb site. There's only Karimbo standing here. And the Molotov's put down by him will force Avez to rethink their strategy and stall for more time.
Oh, they're rotating the AWP over. This is a good read coming out from Big Academy. But Panix needs to get into a really strong position. And out towards the Heaven Spool, he needs to find impact and at least allow another rotation into B.
Smoke down, Crimbo up, Kyler with a face spray back, takes him down, 5-on-4 situation. Norrock can respond, and looking for a bomb plant here now on default. Incendiary will come out a little bit late from Panic, so it will force him out of position, but it won't deny the bomb plant here. Gets that kill on Bialy. Next man advantage for the CT camp. Are they going to look to face him? Norrock's ready for this. So's Kai making his way out with further mollies back down against him. 3 players in from Connectido, and in and right face. And a peek out from Process gets them both. Nice headshots. Marcos suddenly left alone. Panix has got his angle locked, and Big Academy have a 6th.
Showing up when it really counts. We're seeing a great streak of rounds going the way of the Germans and looking really solid. A great retake coming forward, realizing the fact that the T side are probably very aggressive. And just establishing crossfires with one another, holding angles, waiting for the CTs to, or waiting for the T side, I should say, to over-aggress. 6-8. More than a fight than I thought they'd be able to put up. But again, Jay, it is the CT-sided train, so it's expected for most teams in, I would say, an even playing field when you've got 2 teams of very similar skill sets, that 6 rounds on T is normally what's expected, but considering the circumstances, 6 rounds on CT is actually pretty decent.
Given the situation that we have with Avez picking this map and Big not being particularly great on it, I mean, obviously,
yeah,
it would be nice if they had a 9-6 CT half. That'd be great.
Well, for sure.
But a pause will come through. Technical pause, of course. I'm not sure specifically what the issues are, but hopefully it will get sorted relatively soon. Either way, I mean, the buys are basically set in stone. I mean, there's nothing really you can discuss about this. Like, it's pretty much set here. You've got to see the rifles coming in. You've got to see the AKs out for the T side, and the AWPs, the AK still in for the CT camp. Crimbo's just got to reinvest the one final round here, seeing if they can make it within 7.
Getting closer and closer in doing so. It seems like we have had a little bit of a disconnect. And Kyler, unfortunately, dropping out of the server, so hopefully we'll be able to get things going. It seems like someone on Big Academy's also dropped out. Dropping like flies at the moment.
Hopefully it's nothing serious.
Hopefully so. We always hope that.
I mean, I wouldn't be, you know, I wouldn't be too partial to the idea of being having a tech issue at the moment. I mean, at the moment, it just seems like it's something, some sort of like internet connection issue. Maybe it might have something to do with loss. Doing a little bit over that over the last few weeks. But yeah. 5th man back in for the Big Academy side so they can figure things out. And while we do wait for this tech issue to be resolved, of course, I want to remind you of the esports millions, $1 million live for up Thursday, August the 6th.
My birthday.
Yeah, it is. So on your birthday, Unicorn are offering anyone who participates a chance to win a main gear Vibe Stage free gaming PC and all that jazz. So, you know, a lot of fun times are going on at the moment here, Dwayne.
Absolutely. We like fun times. I'll tell you what, I was checking out that PC, and I was like, damn, I was like, imagine getting a PC in a giveaway? Like, how cool would that be?
Indeed.
That would, like, proper upgrade your setup. Yeah, go on then.
As well as that, we got our €1 million giveaway as well to anyone who answers 10 questions right at unicorn.io/esportsmillions. You saw the thing on screen. No hoax, no scam. This is real. Get involved throughout the cups 3 and 4 of 9 to 5. So I'm not quite live just yet. Again, that's what August 6th is about, where things really heat up. So you never know, Dwayne. You could be millionaires. Could be. Imagine how many PCs you could buy with that. Oh, a lot. I think I'd spend it on a bit more than a few PCs, Dwayne. I'm not going to lie.
No, you got to get massive LAN setup going. Next year,
absolutely,
of
mate.
Yeah.
Next year. I mean, not this year, unfortunately. Got to wait for the COVID stuff to end.
A little while.
Although that being said, the trial is now in phase 3, so we might finally be seeing an end to COVID soon. So.
Okay.
We're all good. We're all good.
Oh, good. Well,
party at my place when I have my esports millions, and I build my
big LAN setup.
I build my big LAN setup, yeah. So round 15, last round of the half. AK's in for 3 of the CT players. AWP for Panics. And the AK's out for Avez, straight in by Marcos. Look at his pop dog presence coming through from him. He's dead and buried as Kyler reads it so well. A quick, fast play to catch Big Academy off guard. They waited so long, they got cold, and now they fall to pieces. But Anowin from heaven takes 2 frags, traded back by Normal. Process on site, sees 2, takes 1. 2 versus 1 now as Panics is left alone. Both players are low. The Tech9 can do all the damage. He sees the one man, taps him up, takes him down. Bomb's been dropped in the open. But Kai drive by, gets his headshot and gets 9 for Aves.
The confidence for Kai with 9 HP, just wide swing the angle like that, and win out Aves a 9th round. You've got to think for Panics, man, what a first half performance. That was unbelievable. If he can bring anything close to what he was able to perform on the City side over to T, that would really help them finding a lot of opening picks, because, man, the heavy lifting he's done, leading the kills on the server, 22 and 9. Unbelievable stats.
Well, there we are. Aves do find themselves 9 on the T side. Can they continue momentum into the CT half? We've got the defuse and a smoke for Bialy over on Aves. Utility for Anowin here on the T side face. Kai taking contact and kills over to Popdog. Panics to 4. Marcos will take face out from upper as well. Taking damage and going down as well. A bit overly aggressive. Couldn't get a dodge in time. USB's out here for Kyler here in connector. Tapping up and again just taking tags, but no frags for the CTs. A 4-on-4 retake looks to come through.
The Glock's so damn aggressive. They're looking to try and take the fight onto the CT members. And Flash coming up, not going to give any information away. Hades playing towards the back of Oil, but with Kyler getting a kill and spotting out the player towards default means it's all down to Hades. And now a 1-on-1 from a 1-on-3. It's all down to Kai, the big man, is going to be able to clutch it out once again. And Big Academy, they get a bomb plant, so they could potentially force the issue going into the next round. But what a retake coming out for the Poles.
Well, Kai still top fragging for his team. 2 kills to his name. We saw how Hades contested that. Watch these frags again, able to isolate all those 1v1s. Kyler did a good job to try and keep things under control, but it was these 2 frags that really threw things into question. Hades, fantastic shooting. If he got that 3rd frag, that would have been a hell of a clutch for Big Academy, but they can be happy with that bomb plant. They're going to force up the rifles here.
Big round. Very, very close round as well. Aves, though, they're going to be able to follow up and get double digits. Oh, completely blind. Hades, what an opening kill coming out from the AK. And from here, they can just overwhelm the A defenders if they like.
Ops out, looking on. Scout, I should actually say specifically for Panics. Looks like an AWP. It's close enough. Marcos set out towards stopper to try challenge him over from the T-con position. No frags found as of right now, for the CTs at least. Of course, they lost Kai early on, which is a pretty big player to lose.
Certainly. Aves finding this round a little bit difficult to start things off. And are stacking 2 players up into the B bomb site, keeping the split evenly. And the T's, they might try and just go for a pop. Now, there is a late lurk out towards Ivy, but Kyler could shut this all down because the bomb is in that group there.
Spray through, Kyler gets processed back to a 4-on-4. Second headshot to the bomb plant as he makes it 3. Couldn't quite make it 4, but Crimbo 2 versus 3. His teammates out on a big long flank and he's taking shells to his face, and CT players all around him. He's really got to rely on Anowin to do anything from here, and even then they're running out of time. If he goes down, they can't secure a bomb plant, and indeed Norot will drop the man. So Anowin's going to make all the noise, Norot's going to hear it. 15 seconds, he's got to rush in, get these headshots super quick, and it's just not going to happen with a double face. Does damage, no kill. 2k for Norot, 11 for Avez.
And Kyler, well, what a big performance on top of that Grey Train. The fact that he's able to drop that bomb, make it really awkward, find a mass amount of kills. And things are looking pretty good for Big Academy. They were setting themselves up for a B-site execution. It was a dry run with a late lurk out from Ivy. And unfortunately, that lurk can't really do anything because they can't overwhelm the site. They can't get that bomb down. 11 rounds up for Avez. And you've got to think, Jay, considering how close some of these rounds have been, you've got to be really disappointed for Big Academy that you haven't been able to put more rounds up on the board.
Out and about here in the Brown Hall, smokes up, ready and waiting. M4 of Bialy. Trying to spray them all up here. Flashes come over, he drops 2, makes it 3. Kyler there to support. Does go down to Anowin, so one gets picked back with his pistol. But the pistol of Bialy puts us on even footing, you know. Don't fight with pistols. Don't fight with rifle vs pistols. Everything like that.
Yeah.
That's yeah, simple stuff on the anti-eco for Avez, and I can't say I'm too surprised. This is the way things are going right now for them. A rebuy from Big Academy, though. This is where the real rounds kick into gear.
I want to see the aggression. I want to see the quick A-site play. Get in the face, get aggressive, and see if you could put the pressure on the back of Avez. And at least in process, that might be what he's trying to go for. Look how quick this is for the T's.
Now, frag out, 5-on-4. Big start from an SMG as well as what got that frag. Kai. Narot to try and take his face in to try and support the man at the moment. The CT's favour by a single man advantage. Op shots not connecting from Panics, unfortunately. He's been so consistent so far. Crimbo's going to get spotted by Norot. Next frag found. Grenades on from Anowin, they're just being suppressed. Big Academy just can't make their way out into the bomb site.
Things are really looking difficult, even for entry kills. Bialy, just the swing coming out. The AWP, they actually line up on the CT side, but no one goes down. What a round for Avez. And that's such a statement to Big Academy, like, yeah, you guys can try and rush us, but if you rush us, that's what we're going to do to you.
Simple cleanup. And I mean, what more do you do at this stage? Like, things are looking so good here for Avez. Big Academy. Like, when you're not allowed out of the basic sort of T-side map control at the basic entrances, then you're as good as done, I think. Avez up against the half by here. Look at the SMG out from Marcos. So much to do. He couldn't line up his spray on one particular player. The nade on here from Kyler that could do a lot more damage. His 8k spray gets 2 frags. Lets one player cross with the bomb out in the open. Never mind, it's not even the bomb out there. It is on the back of Crimbo, and he falls to Kyler anyway. 4 frags. The rush dismantled, and Anowin is the last player left. Will Kyler get an ace? Well, Kyler's got a bit more of an advanced angle, so he'll be able to spot him first. Anowin shoulder baiting. Seen here. Sprays Manic. Don't tap Kai. Let Kyler get his ace. Let Kyler get the ace. Come on, mate. Let your teammate shine for once, and there it is. Kyler with an ace. Avez within 1 of map points.
Get the football chance going. Like, there it is. There's the ace. Well, I'm kind of glad that his teammates kind of gave him the opportunity there, build up his confidence with a very nice ace. The rush into the B bomb site, unfortunately, only finding a single kill. 14 rounds up for Avez. Big Academy, it pretty much comes down to this rifle round. This is really their last chance of putting up a... I don't want to say decent performance, because I certainly think they have put up a decent performance so far. It just seems that, oh my goodness, the Zeus. Why are we seeing this? Like, what? Why? That just tilted me. I don't know. I really don't know.
At this point, like, they're just rubbing salt in the wound. I think they know that they've won this.
They are.
already Panics has gone down to Marcos, the Orb v Orb challenge. Alwyn will recover his Orb, try to see if he can put something onto the board. Do something that might open things up for the T side, but Marcos just firing away onto the blind spot positions, hoping to do some damage, hoping to pick them up. Braids through, Bialy takes Crimbo, 5-on-3, and again, the slow, stalled tactics from Big Academy are just going to get picked apart by Avez.
I can just imagine Nara just like slapping him on the head. Like, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? But they're playing with a lot of confidence. Some might call it cockiness. Some might just call it everything going their way because, well, look at this round. Just being absolutely shut down. Anna wins the last one left. He's got the bomb on his back. They've already taken T-Con control, and they're hunting. They just want to take him down. Bit of an overextension coming out from Bialy. But in the end, only one player goes down on that CT side. 15 up for Avez. And I tell you what, this CT side, it's been flawless.
It really has been. You can see there from where round 15, that one lone T-Stone round sandwiched between plenty of CT victories. And ever since that point, there's all been Avez. 6 in a row, looking for a 7th in a row to close down this map up, end things up very easily for Train, and put Big's confidence and their morale in the toilet going into our second map of the best of 3, obviously. It is a Big's map pick. He smokes out. Kai standing by with his AK, checking left and right, hoping to catch someone out of Pop Dog at E-Box. Very fast player coming through. Will they be stalled this time? Well, Kai and Bialy will take them down for 2. Panics to respond back with one blind shot from Marcos, not connecting. Alwyn gets Kyler to a 3-on-3 situ. Ashin and Crimbo falls to 29 points of health. This is over. This is going to be a pick against him, and as his teammate falls, Alwyn's left alone to try and survive 16-6. It's not going to happen. Avez are going to take Train. The first map, their opponents, their map pick, I should be more specific, but going into Overpass is Big Academy shot to strike back. Well, 16-6 may look like a dire scoreline for Big Academy, but the truth be told is that it was a lot closer than that scoreline. Some decent rounds here on their match. Big Academy to strike back against Avez. They held some decent rounds. They held some confident play.
There is a chance there.
Now here on their match, there's a chance that they could take us
very impressed. Yeah, look, certainly there is a chance there after the performance they showed on train. I was very impressed with this lineup, and certainly tournaments like NINEtoFIVE of, you know, seeing if they can show up some good performances and get noticed. And Big Academy, looking at that first result, like you said, only 6 rounds on train. It probably should have been a lot more considering how close some of those rounds were and how many clutches came through from Avez. But going into Overpass, they are going to start off on the T side, looking to get off to a relatively good start.
We're out with the diffuse kit on Bialy. The smoke down for him. And with the utility here for the Big Academy side as they go out to the mid default. Passive across the line with just contacting connector and short. A little bit of a play out for Marcos here in the bathrooms area. Taps up, trying to do some damage to the players. Norrot and Kyler taking face against Hades. We'll see the man. Can't quite take him down at this stage. I don't know what they're trying to do here. They're getting caught up. Them opening and closing the door allows Hades to swing in, catch Kyler off guard, take a man advantage and a HP advantage against Norrot.
Every time Kyler wanted to go back, Norrot was shutting the door. That was just miscommunication coming out from Avez. And for Big Academy, they've done a hell of a lot of damage onto Norrot, and they're just going to try and storm this beat. Bomb side, Kai not hitting the shots, and the pistol round has gone fantastically for the T side.
And that's the Big Academy we expected to see here on the offensive. Half of them to step right up, shut them down. Good kills from Marcos are coming through. 5-on-3 situation that could, sorry, 3-on-1 situation. I don't know why it's a 5-on-3. Marcos still facing, looking for a pick, looking for another way back in, but too many players facing him at the exact same time. It will lead to his demise. It will lead to a pistol going the way of Big Academy. And wow, what a start. Couple of mistakes being made, of course, there on that one, but in the end, it goes the right way.
Yeah, look, certainly that was a really great round. A couple of misplays coming out from Avez. They set themselves up for a very aggressive both connector and short play. And I don't know what the comms were there, but it looked really awkward. So hopefully for Avez, they can just push that aside, look into the next round, because they do have the upgrades out. It's double scouts on the CT side.
Yeah, snipers in on Bialy and Marcos here for the Avez camp. There's a force buy here for the CT side. They have gone for these force ups pretty frequently in this one. Avez, these heads and such close, and it actually works out well to get the bomb planter. Kyler gets 2. AK recovered. He's got players coming below him. Almost gets a 3rd frag, but tags up Hades to the point where his teammates could get set up for glory. 3-on-3, and this is doable for Avez, if a little difficult.
Look, certainly, and they're pushing Monster. They know it has to be an A play. They can start to rotate up from B because Naro has got the information. Bialy's alone at the moment. I'm surprised in how slow these rotations are coming out. Here it is now.
On about. Jump face from the knife here on Bialy, checking places, seeing, I don't know if you saw the player over at long. You'll see the utility coming in from the short position in the mid area though. Faced against, headshot not landed, trying to get out of dodge against Process, but Process takes him down. Deagle standing, needs his head, couldn't find his man. Nades on sight, trying to do some damage on the default position. They're going to plant back behind the truck area. Face up, Kerr taking out Crimbo. He didn't pull the trigger though. And the Mat 10 coming in from long now will have to do the majority of the damage. Kai getting pressured more and more by the T side. Just further shots coming out, keeping his eyes on the back line, continuing with the spam away. Do damage. Mac 10 comes up with a frag, but Process takes Kai back out, just left the Naro. No defuse skip. Big Academy will recover the round at 2-0.
A very good second round coming up for the German side. One thing to maybe think about for the T's is just making sure that when they're going for the defaults, that if they are not spreading out over the map, that they need to be maybe a little bit more aggressive. We saw there, especially in that round, that a big backstab came out from Naro. Yeah, they still closed out the rounds, but there's something to certainly keep in mind. And for Big Academy, looking to try and extend this lead further. Something that they've struggled with so far in this game, especially that first map, was getting off to a bit of an early start and putting that pressure on their opposition. Now going into round 3, you've got to expect they're not going to be up against much. It should be some P250s upgrade at most, but probably just USPs for the most of them.
Right, tech pause coming through in this one here. Kyler timed out on the Avez side, and just for the FYI, for those of you who may be at home wondering what's going on over the course of the tech pauses here, have seen a number of loss issues over time, and hopefully those won't come to affect us throughout the course of this map up. But hopefully, if it does, then we will just be very quickly under in a position to quickly fix them here. Now, something we were pointing out during the break when we weren't really anything was being seen on stream is the updated graphics as well. Now, I'm not sure, is this a model or is it just a 2D asset? I can't quite tell from this angle.
Oh, it's three-dimensional. It is three-dimensional. Yeah. Okay,
that's impressive because, like, you know, you often see like the decals like that one there, you know, when it for NINEtoFIVE, where you know they have that. It's very simple. You just replace the PNG game files for like the maps and stuff, and you can make that and you can make that fix. But that being a model means they had to go into like 3D Max and they had to like completely change some of the assets.
Yeah, I don't know if it had to go that far.
I don't know about that one because that's what it seems like it should be to me. Unless it's a combination, I mean, I don't know much about mapping, but that's my basic knowledge. I mean, CS mapping particularly, but that's my basic knowledge of how to do 3D design. Yeah. So, interesting. Yeah, cool stuff from our guys at Reload. Big up.
We like to see that, and what we like to see as well is a lot of victories and a lot of good rounds. And going into round 3, for the Avez side, there's, well, not a lot. Actually, a bit more of an upgrade than I certainly thought we would be seeing. It's going to be some CCs, some Deagles, some P250s across the board, but it's going to be the Mac 10s you expect to really see if they can get in the face of their opponents and be able to farm up that money.
To CZ out from Kyler to try and put some hurt back on. Another round, the CZ has peaked up and got the frag for Avez and Big Academy. I mean, they won't lose an over amount for it. I believe it was a Mac 10 that was dropped on Panic's part. So, yeah, not a major loss here for the T-side camp.
Big Academy really slowing it down. This is a very different style of play than what we saw against the Na'Vi junior side yesterday. Dealing with the 2 long players relatively easily, meaning that Kai is going to be the last player here out towards this A bomb site in through bathrooms. His teammate rotating up from B. Good shot comes out from the Deagle, but he can't follow up with any more than that.
Deagle Norrod does some damage to Hades, but doesn't get the frag of his own right. 17 HP, he stays alive, and 3 go on the board of Big Academy. Now the rifles come out for Avez, their chance to strike back, and we're expecting a good T-side half from the Big side, so to see them get a pistol and conversions, that's all right. For Avez now, it's all about putting the brick wall up and stopping anything from coming through from Big at the moment here. They're going to need to get this rifle round on their board if they want to hold a decent contention. They're going to put the aim for of Kyler first thing out towards Connector, lobbing that nade rather than going for a straight throw into the tunnels. It looked like he was going to throw it through that little window, so I'm not sure what happened there.
I'm pretty sure it was supposed to. I mean, he was lining himself up for a short nade, so I think it was a bit of a misclick there, unfortunately, with the right click rather than the left click. And, even the position being red from Crimbo. Kai gets taken down. That's really not the start that Avez are looking for going into round 4 on the gun round. Losing that opening pick, there's not a lot of utility on the CT side. They're going to gamble up B. There are now 4 players here at the B bomb site. A is completely open.
The default coming in from Big Academy, they should be able to read this eventually, or otherwise get some information to push them over to the A bomb site. That peek in from Norrock goes so wrong. Crimbo getting his kill out. 34 HP for the T-side member, and Avez are not moving from their B-side stack. I mean, it isn't enough information to justify a rotation here for Big, but as they make their way up through mid, and further utility gets thrown out here for the CT cam, they should be able to connect the dots and realize what's going on here. And indeed, they are slowly making their way around towards the A-bomb site.
In this position, there's no need to rotate back up. You might as well just hold the gamble stack at B. You're in a 5-on-3, so if they go out, you'll just instant save. So for Avez, they're quite happy to stay on B. They're going to realize that the T's have just completely taken that A-bomb site. And well, that's going to be a 4th round up for Big Academy. No retake potential to come through for the CTs. Crimbo, man, those entries looking very, very sharp indeed. And you've got to think there for Narot, that really should have been a trade back into a 4-on-4.
Scope in. Marcos keeping his eyes onto the heaven area just in case, but no one will be found. It is the defensive save from the CT side here to the B bomb site. No real retake opportunities and no kit. Hoping that someone extends towards heaven or through graffiti and gets taken down, but the 4-0 start for Big Academy, and Avez were smart to save their weapons going into the next round. They can afford some new ones. A decent buy can still come through from the CT side.
They'll be able to chuck some M4s over. Marcos can drop an M4, so can Bialy. And often in a round like that, especially if the opposition go 4-0 up and you've got 2 players staying alive, then you'd probably still try an eco. But with 3 players alive, the economy works out that they're able to drop a couple of rifles over and make sure that everyone's got a very good buy going in. And here's the aggression I was talking about.
Oh, the nades to try and shut it down, though. Flash over as well to the short position. Crimbo's desperately hunting for a pick. Nothing going to be seen in connector. Kai going to take face flash over. They're blind. They're back to turn. And that's 2 picks found by Kai. Norrock gets involved. Zano in trades back. M4 spray through from BRD. Gets Hades completely blind by the flashes in the smokes. And Panix is left alone. 1-on-4 for the man. 1 player at the edge of that smoke. Catches off the vision of the gun barrel. And Avez will have a confident first.
That's just really proactive coming out from Avez, realizing the fact that they're giving up a lot of map control at the moment, and Big Academy are just taking it. The flash coming in, the double swing out from that short position, and the crossfire coming out, even the player in connector trying to put up a bit of a fight. And in the end, what a shutdown coming out. 4 players stay alive on that CT side, and they pick up 2 AKs, so that's a really strong round from Avez. It hasn't reset the money line just yet, but if they're able to win out this round going into round 6, then it is a potential, but not off the back of a start like that.
Oh, the nades!
And the spam.
Kai tagged up by the spray. The first kill's already come through from Avez. Big have done so much in the early 30 seconds to tag up and take down the Avez defensive. And they lean towards the A side of the map where they've got Bialy and Kyler to deal with. Bialy's going to regress here towards long. Will he face any further forward than this? I don't think he will. And Kyler's got to concede all the mid control. He's only got bathrooms from his position.
And the T's, if they smoke him off, they can wrap Banana. Oh, panics. He wants to try and take this fight with the AWP. They're going to walk straight past. And Kyler hasn't even seen a shadow. He hasn't seen anything yet. They don't know.
Here they go. M4 continues up and around towards the birthday party. Kyler's going to back up to the A-bomb site just in case they made their way in from mid. And the backstabber's going to get information. Utility out as well. It may have forced a rotate back. Bialy's getting so much info to this. A 3-man stack could potentially shut this down, but they're going to have to wait for Kyler to get to position. He's still defending on A in case they're out mid. Flashes over, they peek in, they've seen 3. They know what's going on. Bialy in the back could line them up, takes down 1, sprays, does manic damage to the second, but Process takes out Kai on the bomb site. Kyler responds to a 2-on-2. Not ready for the player peeking out the right-hand side of the smoke. It's all left to Bialy now. Molotovs on from both sides to stall for time. Arnowin so close, 82 points of health. Pop flash out, the spray is awkward. And Bialy blind still takes him down. 12 points of health. A nade on. He needs an AK to get a headshot on Process now. Knows he's somewhere close, but he's not clutching this one. 3 kills for the man, but he goes no further. It's a 5th for Big Academy.
And what's so unfortunate there for Avez, they've got no util on the B defenders. They only had flashes. If they had a smoke or a Molotov, with the information they got, they could have slowed that down and allowed that flank to come in from Bialy to find more impact. I mean, he does one hell of a job to at least make that round close in the end. But Big Academy coming out of the gates absolutely flying on this T side of Overpass.
And I can't say I'm too surprised, again, given what we've seen out of Big Academy's T-sides in the past. This was the perfect half to start things off. Now, will it continue to be that way is the question. Avez are back on the force up, and we've seen them dismantle the aggressive plays and the aggressive defaults from the Ts before. Will not be the aggressive facing, however, for round 7. So Avez with their short control won't get much out of it. Just the map control, just the information game. They spread themselves thin over to the B defensive. Marcos takes out Anno in towards mid. They at least start off a man advantage here.
Carlos with that CZ again. We've seen how many kills he's been able to find around this bathroom's position. And it's been a while since Avez have been able to take an opening advantage. I think the only time they've done so is probably that round that they won. And even with the short control coming out, they're finding a lot of success.
CZ, Process gets away alive with that one. All that drops the bomb, can't get his second kill. And Hades will trade. 3-on-2 situation. One player is tagged up heavily here. Out to the long face. AWP takes his cross, and Process there to support him. Back to evens will go. Big struggling to get back into the rhythm of the round. And as Process gets another pick out in the open, Nora falls. M4 all that remains. Process is on solo HP. He can find himself multiple kills here to end things off for Big Academy in this round. M4 rounds it, and Process gets another headshot. Beautiful play from him. I believe that was a 3K, but 6 on the board for Big.
One of the youngest members of this Big Academy side, 17 years old, and Process, man, what a round that is from him. Really sharp. Now, considering how low he was, you almost thought that the trade potential was just going to be there so quickly, but it wasn't the case, and Big Academy continue their momentum on this T side. Avez not really fighting a lot on the CT side, and if they just rush into B, they'll only have to deal with Kai.
The Eagle's out. Crimbo takes him down immediately. And that's round over at this stage. There's nothing that Avez can do. They might be able to rush in and try and take some weapons away, but that's it. Like, that's the best they're hoping for at this stage. This is going to be a 7th on the board for Big Academy. And again, contrast that to that first map where it was Avez up in this position, and you can really see how strong of a map Overpass is. Probably surprisingly so by comparison. You know, you oftentimes see teams, you know, they usually have like a good map on their board. You know, something like Overpass would be respectable for a big side, but usually, under most circumstances, you'd expect them to have like a close map, even here in their best map of the series against a team like Avez, who, you know, are higher ranked. They're generally better in terms of their caliber. And they've also got this map under their belt that they can use, so go to show how strong that T-side can really be. CT's getting picked apart. Nora at least leaves 2 players alive, so Marcos can get away with potentially another good frag back. Pop facing, no, he goes down, so no rifle save, but 3 rifles taken out of hands. Big Academy will be hurt. That was be up for the buy.
And this is very similar to how the match was yesterday for Big Academy against Navi Jr. They got absolutely slapped on Dust 2, which was the first map, only putting 4 rounds up. And then they came into Overpass and was able to get a 16-3 result where they started T and put up like 11 rounds or 12 rounds. They had such a great T side. And we're starting to certainly see it come out again. It is a different style of play. It is a little bit more passive than what we noticed yesterday. But it's winning them a lot of rounds, and they're finding a lot of opening picks.
The M4's close again towards short. Crosshair of Norot's train right on Crimbo. No idea he's there. So this one fades though. It's going to be a kill for the T-side player. Back out of the monster position. Smokes up, refacing. He gets taken out. And so does Marcos get panics back to a 2-for-1. So a bit of a weird sort of lurk play that probably could have gone a bit better for the T-side forces. But taking out Naro to start, I mean, that was an unlucky fight to win. But now the rest of the T start falling apart here to the hands of Avez.
Oh, they heard that scope though. Oh, the enemy actually finds that. And now Process is the last one left. They'll know where that bomb is. They'll know exactly where he is. A 1-on-3. And this time around, it's not going to be another round for Big Academy. Avez. Oh, Marcos. That was a really nice shot in close quarters with the AWP. But it really came down to that con presence of Kyler that found a lot of success. And considering the fact that Big Academy are up 7-2, they've actually wrecked the economy, which is putting Big Academy in a forced buy scenario.
Yeah, I mean, very similar to the first map, how we saw how big, you know, they weren't getting the rounds on the board, but they were able to do some damage and try and take these rounds close. I'll come back to that point because they're going for a very fast play out to the B-bomb site. Kyler has the bomb dropped, 2 kills to his name. Kai comes up with a good pick, and yes, they will lose Kyler and Nori. And a win gets Kai in the back line. Even standing, the bomb can get planted from here.
They re-spoke short, which is making this connector play from Bialy all so much more difficult. He may even just have to slow walk out through Monster and see if he can get some sort of synchronization to work together with Marcos. Another nade coming out, doing even more damage to Bialy.
Avez moving forward, flash in, burst up from Bialy, seeing with his utility in his hands, it's all left to Marcos now from heaven. Backstab's coming in, sprays good for Anowin. Takes him down and gets Big past the line in what was a very shambolic sort of buy as well. And again, it's that sheer pace and aggression, and they come out with all the frags for it. You can see despite that, Avez are still keeping up with the frag numbers here. They're just not keeping up with the rounds.
And honestly, forget the AWP, man, these riflers on Big Academy have done such a great job opening kills, trade fragging ability. We haven't really seen the AWP being too impactful on this T side. It's just been all of these AKs 47s. Process in particular, 12 kills, leading the fragging. And for the German Corps. And for Avez, certainly not finding it as easy as they probably would have thought. A Crimbo, the amount of entries this man's found, especially in this map.
Yeah, he's been just on fire so far for his team. It's great as well talking about panics with the AWP on an AWP heavy map and how he was thriving, and now it's the and again, is their CT side? I mean, they do have hope in the sense that their T side could potentially be brought to the table because Big don't have a great CT half. But even so, to lose this many rounds on what should be your favorite half, it's not a good look.
No, it really isn't. And even the aggression, I didn't think that was going to work out, but Kai's actually dropped that really nicely.
Process overly aggressive. He knew he had low HP and he still went in to try and find the CZ. And look at the aggression on the CT side. You're going to see Naro slowly pushing up here to the T-con position and find a very serious off angle. If they go back through T-spawn to go to the B-bomb site, and they're going to be in a serious world of hurt here for Big. 40 seconds to the hit, and he's going to push forward even further. Crimbo is not going to see his man. Scouts out, good shot from Marcos, takes out Hades. Trade comes back from Panics to a 2-on-3. Favor to the CT camp. AK's recovered by Noro. He's going to be the main man on this wraparound, and this backstab going to get cut off on the rotation. Perhaps they're going to go back to B. They've all stacked A. This has all gone wrong for Avez again.
Oh, but they've got the information straight away, so they can rotate back, and they're still holding on to the man advantage, not being seen, but the information's there. The damage trying to come through, but Panics with him opening up through short, and it's now all down to Kyler. We've seen what he's been able to do with this CZ in the past, and it's into a 1 versus 1, but he's only got 6 bullets, Jay.
Gonna get that rifle instead, tap the bomb, he's got no kit. He's got to get this kill on Panics pretty quickly, round towards the monster area. Panics knows. 10 seconds to the defuse. Flashbang to try force his man out. No, he's gonna go for the full 10-second thing, and it's just gonna be a 1 tap from Panics. Patience is a virtue, and a virtue that Panics has.
Oh my goodness, that's so well played. There's so many different ways of playing a one-on-one, and at the time, it almost, you can't practice those things in scrims and in officials and things like that. It just comes down to there's so many different ways of playing a one-on-one, and at the time, it almost, you can't practice those things in scrims and in officials and things like that. It just comes down to the game sense, and well, for Panics, so well played. Yeah, look, that bomb could have potentially been stuck on that first tap, but that's just the risk that you need to make. 9-2 up. What a T-side we're seeing coming out from the youngsters. Big Academy.
Kyler pushed up with the M4. Backed up behind, the flashbang's over. Good shot from the AWP. Marcos takes out Process next. M4 turning away, and he's not been seen. That's a big frag to find the AWP with signs of a collateral. Marcos somehow staying alive, buying time for Kyler to come forward, and he does go down, but Bialy's there for the trade as they just hold on to the AWP and the third for the CT side.
Oh, well, okay. So a bit of a change-up that actually comes out for Avez, which works really nicely. We've seen a fair bit of aggression on their CT side, at least in the early round. Most of the time it's been out towards short and trying to limit that short control for the Ts. But this time around, it's aggression out towards Fountain. The crossfire trying to be set from the M4 and the AWP are creating a lot of chaos. And it's now going to put the T's on another force buy, and they're just going to hit B quickly.
Smokes on, holding out. M4 close against 2. Drops them nice and easy with Kai and Nora. Time, no big rush from Big is going to work. Avez have found the reads. Can they carry?
Scenario, great repositioning. And Avez, well,
to his death, but 80 points of health. He is still going to take his shot. Kyler, whole face. Marcos finds himself a nice tidy 3k, and they finish on the board for Avez going into the last round of the half. A real good chance to turn this CT side back to magic.
Start coming out from the Avez side. Finding a bit of confidence now. 3 rounds in a row to go their way. But going into round 15, Big Academy. Can they put the pressure back on? Can they get to double digits before we go in and swap sides? You got to think for Avez, they haven't really had to deal with the brunt of the AWP coming out from Panics. They certainly will going into that second half. Look at the aggression out through Monster.
And the AK is so close.
Oh my goodness.
It comes down to smoke timings here. And Nora are going to come out on the bottom first from site, and Marcos has no idea.
Oh, that was such a weird setup coming out from Avez. It doesn't work out at all. The AWP doesn't get taken down, but for Panics, he's now starting to open up A, and with that rotator from B, I'm not sure if this information's been followed through.
What? Ray connects to the APC. Hades takes out Marcos. CT side, leaving it to Bialy to clutch this, and he has clutched 1v3s before. If he can do it again, it would certainly end for upseeds. His man does a dink, doesn't get the kill.
Well, what an impressive prove that they can put up some strong T sides, but probably one of their toughest matchups so far. They've had 9 LDLC, 9 again in the group stage. Only a step up to play a team like
Now on their CT half, seeing if they can try and close this out. Again, I remind you of the T-side bias into Avez, who have a bit more of a CT bias. Lurking, Crimbo reads it, takes it down. As they try and hold off here for the A side hit, taps up from
mention coming out from Crimbo. He's so aggressive, takes down the single lurk that was between one another on the site. And with no bomb plan going down, it makes things awkward because you've got to think at 11-5 up, Avez don't really have a lot of rounds to work with.
Continuing pistols here for Big Academy, the confidence when it comes to their pistol setups here on this map. Rounds on the T-side board is the most important thing. If they can't win that rifle round though, Dwayne, I feel like they're going to be leaning house. 2 frags found so far. XM101 4 for Panic looking for the next pick. Standard way. There with the long range M4 leaves it all to kind of 1 versus 5, and he's the buyer coming through in round 18.
Need to go for the 8. And what's a really great sign that I'm looking at for Big Academy, you know, we highlighted he was looking at overpass. I haven't really even looked at it. I mean, yeah, he's got 15 kills, he's top fragging, but it hasn't felt like for most of his kills have been the impact, and that's really what we need to see in this map and potentially going into that third map, a nuke.
Well, you find they keep the momentum that Avez, what little they have left, going to their favour, or a 12-7 scoreline. Potentially even more than that. But they need to win this round for me if they want to stand a chance on this map.
This is their last chance. And you look at the rounds and think, oh, you know, maybe they've got chances in the following gun rounds. No, they need to put the pressure on. And if they can't get on the board now, then I just don't see there being a way back in. 2 MP9s to back up that AWP, or 3 MP9s, I should say. For Big Academy, but sometimes we see this with pistols, almost never see it on a gun round.
It's a bit of a force buy, so I mean, it's kind of understandable, but it is an M4 they're boosting up to this position. It's going to look for information as well. If he hears that squeak door open, he'll know that they've got connector presence. But in general, Avez might not want to go aggressive towards B site. They've got 3 players out long. No one has the bomb, so someone's got to go ahead and get back towards the T-con area to grab that bomb. And footsteps were heard. Kylan knows there was a 3-man boost there, so he knows that they're passive as anything right now on the site. If there's a face to come in from Kai, he might be able to get a pick back, but they're putting utility out to try stall here against Avez.
A lot of information coming up for Kyla, but the AWP panics, doesn't hit that shot out towards the bathrooms position. And Avez, with a single lurk out towards B, they've got the opportunity of wrapping the bomb back through connector over to that B bomb side, but it looks like they're going to set themselves up for an A player.
Lurks on SMG if Hades close.
They're backing off, they're going
catch
B.
him, and yes, they're going to rotate back. As the 3rd man rotates away from B, they're going to start committing to B. Process and Anowin, the 2 SMGs here to defend. Backstab coming in from Hades, but Anowin and Process to drop the 2 first players, and Big Academy holding their own. Panic comes up with an orb kill. Crimbo rotates the support, and the T just crumbles to pieces. SMGs at close range work perfectly, and the defense holds strong for Big Academy.
Oh, what a round. What a round. That's honestly astonishing for Big Academy. The fact that they take some really aggressive fights with those MP9s, rather than playing very deep in the sites and allowing map control to be taken at B, they actually try and force the issue pretty much straight away and allow the rotators to come in. Avez, I think that's just overthinking things. They heard the triple stack over at that B bomb site from Kyla. They set themselves up for an A play. They used a bit of utility and ended up going to B with hardly any information. And they just ran into those MP9s.
Avez, like, I said they needed a good rifle round. I said they needed to get a rifle round. The fact that they got decimated that easily is probably the biggest of concerns for me. I imagine this might just be over here. We may be looking to our 3rd map. Big Academy have work this one to the bone, and Avez are left out in the cold at this stage. I mean, they've already lost that 1st man. They're saving to get rifles back in on the 20th. But that is their best bet to do anything here against Big Academy. Flashes over, will catch players, blind AK from Process, sprays, takes 1, almost takes 2. Naros 1 HP, a breath away from going down. And yeah, this is going to be 14. There's no way around it.
Certainly not. Yeah, Nara just so low. And bringing that bomb back up through connector to the A bomb site and just leaving a single lurker, Kyla. Big Academy really coming into their own on this 2nd map of the series. Another missed AWP shot coming out, but unfortunately it doesn't really make too much of a difference because the teammate and the support is there to shut that round down. Going into round number 20, we are going to see the reinvestment up through Avez. They were able to get the orb out. But you've even got to think, to put rounds on the board, it's almost too late at this point.
Yeah, I mean, just the deficit is so massive. 9 rounds for Avez to equalize. And yeah, I've seen, like, you know, 14 round comebacks from teams before. I don't think I've seen one to this extent for a while. I mean, I've seen 14-7s, which have been, you know, absolutely insane. So this, to say the least, would be insane if Avez are able to make it happen. But, you know, again, it's very unlikely that these kind of things happen, especially with the way the Big are playing. Absolute utmost confidence here on this map.
Kyla's heard it again. They've tried the triple boost, and every time they've gone for it, there's been absolute no short control coming out from Avez. And Kyla could just relay that information over. I don't know how much that helps them, though, because now it's a gamble stacks and seeing gamble stacks at B on the City side, but not over at A. This is very uncommon.
As they realise that Avez maybe going to this position early on, I think they might know that I gave the info up to look towards B, and they have to get the AWP panics. They may look to bait in a frag with one player coming out from the stairs area, but as soon as this man goes down, they've got to move. They've got to move down, and Marcos keeps himself alive. A 5-on-4 situation for Avez, but CTs are already out here. Flashbangs evaded. Kai checking out the short position. Hades is all the way out towards Water Cubby. A small gap to work with as Kai gets processed. Now to a 5-on-3. Flashes go over, evaded by Hades. Spraying in against Kai's position. Kai gets himself a nice double as Anowin times in on towards Nora. A 4-on-2. He's going to back off, fall away. Crimbo be waiting back here to take down frags over from the short position. But this is going to be a safe call for Big Academy because Aves are not dead yet.
I'm not sure what sort of sparked that over-rotation to the A bomb site. It wasn't off the back of any information or anything like that. And for Avez, they just have to deal with that single defender of the AWP. And as soon as Panics goes down, they just run into B. The rotations are too slow. Ooh, nice little angle coming out from Crimbo on the little pixel walk there. 6 stand up for Avez.
And doesn't quite get away with the kill back on Kyle Marcos. Kai actually takes them down, so the rifle lost here for the CT side, but it should also be a reinvestment from Big Academy. Buy up, AWPs, M4s, utility out. Their economy's still in a pretty good flow position as well. Like, it won't be amazing, but I can see them forcing another good buyout in round 22.
Could do.
Aves, though, they need to try and get to that point here. That is the best case scenario for them. They are still teetering on the edge of match point. They need to get this rifle round confidently on their board. The flashes are going to go over the NWP with a flick back from Panics. Bialy trades back on Hades. Another M4 swings in. Marcos is ready for it. 2 for 1 on the mid controller. Still going to hold presence here with the AWP of Panics. You have to get out of dodge, though, as he needs to fall back passive. He is tagged up.
For Crimbo, he's really exposed at the moment. He doesn't really have teammate support out towards the top of connector, and even for Kai, he's waiting for the aggression. This should be an easy kill, and this is now 4-on-2. This round's all falling apart for Big Academy. What? Kyla? Hello? What? Is that DC? I don't know what happened there, but it was not ready for that. Yeah.
I heard the ticks in my head. This sounds like there's going to be a tech pause coming into freeze time. And for Kyla as well. I'm taking a look at the logs. Yeah, Aves just called for a tech pause in that one.
Why?
What?
They got their
that was just silliness coming in from Marcos, and that might cost them the round. 2-on-2, they can't rerun it off Kyla's DC, and Aves. They were in a 4-on-2 situation. That may be about to change. Flashes over. Panic's going to make his way downstairs into the B bomb site on water. They may have heard that dropped in. They may have heard those splashes. And they're going to wait for him to peek up. Flick shot missed. And then Akai takes him down. Nade on towards short as Crimbo tries to hold off against the bomb. Planters here. He'll put one close to the default position. Take a spray. Take him down. 1-on-1 situation. And if Aves let this go, they probably let this map go as well. Bialy holding cross, taking an aggressive face. And unnecessary one in my opinion, but he does win it out. A 7th for Aves. This tech pause to make sure Kyla's okay. But the rebuy can come through from Big, and I imagine they would do.
What's so impressive that Bialy brings this team is maybe not so much in terms of the frag count, because he certainly hasn't been a massive fragger in map 1 and map 2, but how often he clutches. We saw him clutch twice, a 1v2 and a 1-on-1 on train, now another 1-on-1 on overpass. And that's what you need from veteran players, is maybe not so much the star fragger, but the one that can just be very able to clutch. And that's what Bialy brings to this team. 7 of 14. Having a look at the money, yeah, look, they can force again. It's going to be a little bit awkward for Process and Panic. Maybe thinking about the long game, they might just try an eco.
And the high rollers can invest into some upgrades, so they may be able to just buy down to about 3k and then just go, hey,
yeah,
get some more. Let's get another buy up in the next round, so they have a little extra something to work with. They could take rifles away from Aves. That would also be valuable at this stage. I mean, their economy after Marcos buys, you'll see it in its full in its full anti-glory, I guess. You already see the buys from Bialy, Nora, and Kai there with the lack of any sort of money. $900 at best, and it's just not looking good. So yeah, even if Big don't get this round, to get the to get any damage on the board of Avez, it's going to be so valuable to them at this stage.
It is. It certainly is. And for Big Academy, are looking to see if they can take their journey further into a third map of Nuke, which could be certainly quite an interesting map because, again, it's a map that for both of these teams, at least statistically, is relatively even. I mean, it's still an advantage going up for the Avez side, but for Big Academy, a lot. They played it 3 times in the group stage out of the 3 maps, or the 3 best of 3s they played, to say the least. And they picked Nuke twice in the 2 series against 9 and LDLC, and then played it as a third against 9 again for the rematch. So they're no stranger for Nuke if we do go to that third, Jay.
Certainly what would be a little more non-standard map so far in this series, so I'll be curious to see where things will go if we had to go there. Break that down in more detail if we lean towards it. For now, though, we're into round 22 here of Overpass. Avez on the warpath in the comeback. And with this buyout from Big Academy, we could see that to the lead. Seeing the setup here with the smokes out. The mollies coming in for the Avez camp. It's Marcos with the AWP down towards the graffiti area. Kai's going to keep his eyes on towards the short area. 2 CTs up and out towards the monster position, and they're pushing one forward. That is Process. I thought he was going into tunnels. They're going to hold that at power combat angle. See the flashbangs coming in, but the boost out. Kai gets one. The manic spam. As Onowin is blind, a 5-on-3 now. Avez entering into the B-bomb site with proficiency and looking just as confident as Big did over on their D side.
This round in particular looking pretty much excellent. There was just so many players blind at that B bomb side. And there's not really much you can do against that when you're playing aggressive stances around that sort of monster position, that grill and the surf angle. If you're blind, there's just nothing you can do. There's no way of trying to escape. And for Avez, the entries come out pretty quickly. They're trying to hunt down the remaining CT members. They'll know where the AWP is for Panics, but you've got to think with the economy line not that fantastic for Avez, they'll probably